Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. October 6th. Facing Ourselves. And fear says, "You dare not look." 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 49. How often I avoided a task in my drinking days just because it appeared so large. Is it any wonder, even if I have been sober for some time, that I will act the same way when faced with what appears to be a monumental job, such as a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself? What I discover after I have arrived at the other side, when my inventory is completed, is that the illusion was greater than the reality. The fear of facing myself kept me at a standstill, and until I became willing to put pencil to paper, I was arresting my growth based on an intangible. Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, October 6th. Although the crisis that brought us to Al-Anon may be past, there is always something new to learn, even after years of recovery. We change. Opportunities for spiritual growth as well as new character defects pop up like weeds in a newly mown lawn, and we find ourselves turning to the steps for a fresh look. I experienced this one day when I noticed that I had begun to be angry much of the time. I thought that the other people and situations were to blame, but I decided to concentrate on my own part of the picture. I took a written inventory of my memories, feelings, and behavior whenever I lost my serenity, and then read it aloud to someone I trust. As I read the common thread, the exact nature of my wrongs jumped out at me. My problem was my pride and arrogance, not my situation. The need to be right was robbing me of my serenity in all kinds of situations. No matter how long I work the Al-Anon program, I will never cease finding new ways to apply it to my life. That is a blessing, for it means that my life will continue to get better. Today's reminder: there is something new for me to learn today. I will open my mind and my heart to the lessons my higher power brings me. The important thing is not to stop questioning. And that is a quote from Albert Einstein. Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, October 6th. Amends without expectations. Projections about actually making amends can be a major obstacle, both in making the list and in becoming willing. Basic text, page 39. The 8th step asks us to become willing to make amends to all persons we have harmed. As we approach this step, we may wonder what the outcome of our amends will be. Will we be forgiven, relieved of any lingering guilt, or will we be tarred and feathered by the persons we've harmed? Our tendency to seek forgiveness must be surrendered if we expect to receive the spiritual benefits of the 8th and 9th steps. If we approach these steps expecting anything, we're likely to be very disappointed with the results. We want to ask ourselves if we are pinning our hopes on gaining the forgiveness of the person to whom we are making amends, or maybe we're hoping we'll be excused from our debts by some sympathetic creditor moved to tears by our hard luck story. We need to be willing to make our amends regardless of the outcome. We can plan the amends, but we can't plan the results. Although we may not be granted a full pardon by everyone to whom we owe amends, we will learn to forgive ourselves. In the process, we will find that we no longer have to carry the burdens of the past. Just for today, I will let go of any expectations I have on the people to whom I owe amends. Today, Emotions Anonymous, October 6th. Reflection for today. Pain had been the motivator for me to come into the program. After some time, the pain lessened in intensity and frequency. When I felt good and happy, I thought I did not need the program anymore. These thoughts scared me, so I began to create pain and misery for myself so I could be motivated to work the program. I became frightened of being happy and serene. I am learning that the desire to live a better life is a sufficient motivator. The pain which brought me here can be transformed into the gratitude which keeps me here. Meditation for today. May I remember that as I grow in the program, my values and perspectives will change. Today I will remember. Flexibility in my thinking enables me to go with rather than against the changes God has in store for me. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics' dysfunctional families. October 6th. Inner critic. We stop in mid-sentence if we are putting ourselves down or criticizing our thoughts or behavior. We identify the source of the negativity, which is the inner critic inside all adult children. BRB 299. Who tells us each day whether we live up to a standard? Who lies awake each night running over the could haves or should haves for the day or for days gone by? We weren't born with shame. It was instilled in us. We had no experience to measure or reject that shame when we were children, so we had to accept it. But who is keeping that shame alive in us today? It's our inner critic that reflects the negative voices from our past. But we now have the choice to change that voice, to live life on our own terms and bury the could haves and should haves. We are no longer required to listen to the messages that keep shame alive in our everyday thoughts. Who puts a value on us if we do not value ourselves? In ACA, we are accepted for who we are. We join together not to bemoan our imperfections, but to find the courage to change the one I can and the wisdom to know that one is me. Our strength in numbers gives us that courage and assures us that we are now and always have been valued human beings. The affirmation reads, "On this day I look at myself through the eyes of my fellow ACAs and my higher power. Instead of listening to my inner critic, I believe what they say, that I am valued." Please share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To remember that you are not alone and that recovery is possible one day at a time.